Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Bossier City, Louisiana. It's the Diamond Youth Baseball 2024 Division II Ozone World Series. I'm Chuck Zach, and we're coming to you live from the Tinsley Sports Complex here in Bossier City. It's going to be a hot one today. Looking at temperatures in the mid-90s with a heat index of around 110. And as a result, we're probably going to see some water breaks or heat breaks during the course of our game today. We're down to day number 4, and only a handful of teams left, 5 to be exact, here in the Ozone World Series. Our matchup today features the visitor from the state of Georgia versus the home team from Virginia. Let's do the obligatory lineups. Here's how Georgia, the visiting team, is going to line up. It'll be Whit Walters leading things off. He's playing shortstop. Fane Pate, the catcher, will bat second. Landon Reeves, who was yesterday's hero in their win, he's going to be at third base hitting third. Dixon Law, the pitcher, will bat fourth. Left fielder Cole Wilson hitting in the number 5 spot. Lane Nicolelli at first base hitting 6th. Shaw Hopkins at second batting 7th. Taylor Justice hitting 8th. Weston Tucker 9th. Brady Carroll in right field batting 10th. It'll be Greg Suggs 11th. And center fielder Jude Davis will bat in the number 12 spot. Georgia coached by Jake Walters, Todd Pate, and Andrew Tucker. Here's Virginia's defense. At first base, Kendall Napier. Stephen Allen's at second. Riker Dawson at short. Olin Wright at third. Henry Wright is in left field. Brady Deacon in center. Colton Gibson is in right. Xander Mayo behind the plate. And Hayden Simpson, the pitcher, in his first pitch, a swinging strike to Whit Walters. Bill Dawson, Jeff Mayo, and Jim Allen are the coaches for the home team from Virginia. No balls and 1 strike, and that one's wide for ball 1. The winner of this game today stays alive. This is an elimination game. Winner takes on South Carolina in the heat of the afternoon today at 3 o'clock. With a chance to make it to the championship day tomorrow. Here's the 1-1. That's just a little wide. 2 balls and 1 strike. Team from Georgia comes out of Ocilla. There's the pitch. That one's wide. Ball number 3, 3 balls and 1 strike. For Virginia, they hail from Amherst, where they won the Virginia Ozone title. Played only 3 games, but won them by a score of 37-5. Here's the 3-1. That's ball 4. So after an opening strike on the first pitch, Whit Walters draws a base on balls, and we're going here. Georgia, first base runner, and here's Fane Pate coming up. We got a little bit of breeze today, and again, it's kind of blowing towards right field. This is a field that has not given up many home runs in the 4 days. Bunt attempt not there. Throw down to try to stop Whit Walters, who steals second base, and that's unsuccessful, as Xander Mayo could not get that ball down in time. Fane Pate took a swing at that pitch, so he got hit with a strike. It's no balls and 1 strike. Runner in scoring position already for Georgia. Georgia's gotten here by virtue of an opening round win over Mississippi. They beat Louisiana day 2, lost to Texas, and then eliminated Tennessee. Push bunt first base side. Only play is at first, and by a half step they get Fane Pate, who gives himself up and moves Whit Walters into scoring position with 1 away. So Georgia with a chance to get on the board early as Landon Reeves steps in. Virginia, they've played 3 games as opposed to 4. They lost the opener to South Carolina, came back and beat Mississippi and South Carolina's runner-up. They've had the 1 game advantage over the others right now, having played 1 less game. First pitch called strike to Landon Reeves. On deck, Dixon Law, the pitcher. This one swung on, punch to right field. That's going to be a run-scoring RBI for Landon Reeves, who almost got thrown out going to first base. Pretty heady throw over there by Brady Carroll, who, if his throw was a little more online, may have actually gotten that ball to first base before Reeves reached it. But Landon drives in the first run of the game, RBI single. Whit Walters scores from third, and Georgia's on top 1-0. There's Dixon Law up now, the pitcher. There's the pitch to him. This one lifted in the air as it twists foul out of play, first base side. No balls and 1 strike. That one hit hard right to the shortstop, 1 hopper. They'll get the out at second. The relay not in time as Law gets in there safely. So the force out of Landon Reeves at second base. Riker Dawson fielded that, got it over to Stephen Allen. They just didn't have time for the relay. So Law's on base now with Cole Wilson coming up. See if Virginia's going to put a runner out there. This is always the interesting question when you've got the ability to put a courtesy runner out. And there's Wilson, the left fielder. First pitch he sees, a little bit high for ball 1. That pitch called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. On deck for Georgia, Lane Nicolelli. Wilson with a 1-1 count, 2 outs, top of the first. Georgia with a 1-0 lead. The pitch missing wide. 2 balls and 1 strike. Actually got this game underway a couple of minutes early, straight up 10 o'clock right now. 85 degrees here in Bossier City. This is the Division II championships. This one fouled, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Next Friday, we start Division I play. It'll be back here at Bossier, and we'll be back here on game day bringing you the action beginning next Friday all the way through championships next Wednesday. Hopefully the weather cooperates. We had rain a bit on Thursday and Friday and early Saturday. Off goes the runner, pitches down low and no throws. Mayo bobbled the ball on the pitch, and the count's 3 balls and 2 strikes. I don't know if I'd rather have upper 70s, low 80s, and a little rain, or upper 90s and 110-degree heat factor. This one swung on. It'll slice foul right field line, and Cole Wilson's going to have to come back. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hayden Simpson doing the work on the mound for Virginia. Loser of this will get medals and go home today. Winner plays at 3. Here's the pitch. Inside high, ball 4. Second walk of the inning for Georgia. And they've got runners at first and second for Lane Nicolelli. Here's the pitch to him. That one catches the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Mentioned it yesterday. If you're heading to Georgia in October, you may want to stop by Ocilla, the home of these state champions. Ball bouncing in. The runners will move up 70 feet. Why would you go there? It's the annual Sweet Potato Festival. All right, ball and a strike now. Here's a pitch. This one fouled out. Nicolelli hanging alive here. 20 pitches, now 21 pitches from Hayden Simpson. We'll remind you about the pitch count rules. 40 and less means you get to pitch again tomorrow. You pitch more than that, you got to sit for 36 hours, and the way things are right now, that would pretty much mean your series is done. Of course, teams facing an elimination game like both of these may decide we've got to win today or there is no tomorrow. Here's the pitch. This one swung on and missed, and that'll end the inning. But Georgia picks up a run. They got one hit and 2 men left on base. We'll take a break. We're coming back. Bottom of the first, Virginia coming up when we return here on Game Day. All right, welcome back here to the Tinsley Sports Complex, Bossier City, Louisiana. Just a little bit to the east of Shreveport, if you're wondering where we are. And if you're coming down next week, you should enjoy. Got the casinos down in Shreveport on the boats. Lots to do around this area. All right, time for Virginia to bat. Here's their lineup. Riker Dawson at shortstop is going to lead off. He'll be followed by Olin Wright, the third baseman. Xander Mayo, the catcher, batting third. Kendall Napier, the first baseman, hitting fourth. Batting fifth, Brady Deacon in center field. Second baseman Stephen Allen's going to hit sixth. The pitcher, Hayden Simpson's batting seventh. Brady Mays hitting in the eighth spot. Left fielder Henry Wright batting ninth. It'll be Devin Vire hitting 10th. And Colton Gibson in right field is going to bat in the 11th spot. Georgia's defense has Lane Nicolelli at first, Shaw Hopkins at second, Whit Walters at short, Landon Reeves at third, Cole Wilson in left, Jude Davis in center, Brady Carroll in right, and Fane Pate behind the plate. Dixon Law getting a start today for Georgia. We're ready for the bottom of the first. Virginia trailing 1-0. And the first pitch from Law on the way and a little bit high and outside to Riker Dawson.
Now batting for Virginia, Riker Dawson.
1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. This one hit in the air, left center. Drifting over and can't get there. It's going to drop all the way to the wall as Dawson's around first to second, sliding in with a leadoff double. Dawson gave that quite the ride into the gap in left center. Looked for a minute like maybe Jude Davis was going to catch up to that ball, but it just kept drifting on him. And Virginia's got the tying run on base. 2 pitches into this game. Here's Olin Wright up now. Well, taking a look. Here's the pitch. Just a little low, ball 1. This lineup for Virginia, 3 lefties and 2 switch hitters. Got a lot of flexibility. That one's a strike. Good fastball outside corner by Dixon Law. Riker's dad, Bill, the head coach of this Virginia squad. Swing and a miss, but it gets away from the catcher as Fane Pate hunts it down, but not before Riker Dawson moves over to third base, so the tying run's now 70 feet away. Amherst area got some notable alumni who are playing in the majors, or who have played in the majors, rather. Here's the pitch. This one, ground ball towards short, grabbed by Walters. Actually, it's a fly ball. Didn't hit the ground at all. And Whit Walters gobbles it up. Nice defensive play on the low liner. And there's one away for Virginia here in the first. It looked for a second like that ball came off the bat and had a quick first bounce, but apparently that was just old eyes seeing it wrong. Line drive to Walters, one away. Here's Xander Mayo now. Pitch to him, outside ball 1. On deck, Kendall Napier for Virginia. Some of the gentlemen who have played in the big leagues who started at Amherst. Wild pitch. This gets away from the catcher, Fane Payne. He can't find it, and Dawson's going to come in to score. So a double and a couple of wild pitches, and Virginia has tied this game at 1. It's that problem of being the catcher. You got the gear on, and especially the big mask on, and when the ball bounces away, you can't see it. Everybody else knows where it is except you, and sometimes it's underneath you. In this case, it just bounced up high, and you turn around looking on the ground. It hadn't come down yet. Pitch outside, 3 balls, no strikes now to Mayo. That's in there for a strike. 3-1. Law let up just a little bit on the pitch. And they were taken all the way. It was Xander Mayo in Virginia. Here's the 3-1. This one hit in the air to right. It is in trouble for Georgia all the way to the wall. Mayo around first, and he comes into second base. So 2 doubles in the inning for the Virginia batters. Dawson and now Mayo. Well hit balls, both of them. One to left center. Mayo went the other way to right center. Brady Carroll had a long way to run to try to get to that, and Georgia was playing Jude Davis in center, leaning over to left center. So it really was a long run. There's Kendall Napier, the first baseman, coming up now. Double, a line out, and another double. This one hit in the air. It'll twist foul out of play. Third base side. No balls and 1 strike. On deck hitter is Brady Deacon, the center fielder. 1 out here in the inning. Virginia matched Georgia's first inning run. They've got a runner in scoring position now. This one grounded right to the first base coach for strike 2. Well, gusty wind, it's picking up a little bit. You get one up in the jet stream here flying out to right field. The wind may give it a little boost. And the pitch outside for a ball. We've got a handful of teams left. Virginia, Georgia, South Carolina, that's waiting for the winner of this game. Texas and Florida that are playing on the other field. Last 5 standing. The only one unbeaten, Texas. That's inside strike 3. Gets away from the catcher. Dixon will throw down to first base to retire Napier for the second out. And on the ball that gets by, Mayo goes to third. So Brady Deacon coming up. Virginia with the go-ahead run at third now. Set. Here's the pitch. This one hit in the air to left. Cole Wilson over there. Now he can't grab it. Gets off of his glove. Run's going to come in to score, and Virginia is going to take a 2-1 lead. Brady Deacon, who stumbled a little bit going around first, kind of fell short of the bag at second. Had to kind of crawl in there to get to second base, but his fly ball scores Xander Mayo, and now it's a 2-1 lead for Virginia. Excuse me. And here's Stephen Allen, the second baseman. Another runner in scoring position. Swing and a miss. No balls, 1 strike. That's a good pitch. 0-2 now to Allen. Hayden Simpson, the pitcher's on deck. So 2 doubles and an error in this inning has given Virginia the lead. There's a ball wide. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dixon Law set. Here's his pitch. That one's low, bounces by again, and another advancing runner. Wild pitches have been a little bit of an undoing here for Dixon Law today, as he's already handed out 4 wild pitches. He's now thrown 20 pitches in this inning. That one wide. Three balls and 2 strikes. This one hit in the air. It's going to be left field again. Cole Wilson over. This time he makes the grab, and that'll end the inning. But Virginia takes the lead 2 runs. There were 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. Top of the second coming up when we return. 2-1 Virginia with the lead here on Game Day. All right, we'll welcome you back. A couple of defensive changes for Virginia here in the top of the second inning as they decide to move Devin Vire into the game. He'll play in right field for Colton Gibson this half inning. And Brady Mays is going to go into left field where he'll go in for Henry Wright. So those 2 changes at left and right field for Virginia. Georgia now will bring to the plate Shaw Hopkins, Taylor Justice, and Weston Tucker. We're at the 7, 8, 9 hitters as they'll get ready to face Hayden Simpson, Virginia's starting pitcher. Shaw Hopkins, you were with us yesterday for the Georgia broadcast, the big fan of steamed broccoli. That's a good nickname. Steamed broccoli. Shaw coming up now. Top of the second, 2-1 Virginia. Winner advances to play at 3 this afternoon against South Carolina. Loser gets the ceremony that nobody wants to have. Take the flag down and get their medals. This one swung on, ground ball, backhand, and a long throw not in time. Riker Dawson got to the ball but just couldn't squeeze it well. His throw was really irrelevant. Shaw Hopkins was going to be on first base either way. And on the error on the shortstop, we've got our first base runner for Georgia here in the second. Taylor Justice coming up now. Runner off and going. Throw down. One hopper. Not in time. Good play by Dawson, but his tag was a little up on the leg. And that allowed Shaw Hopkins to dive in there safely to steal second base. So tying run now in scoring position. And up will, with an 0-1 count, Taylor Justice. A little last words from Coach Walters. Here's the pitch to him. Outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out in the inning. Weston Tucker is the on-deck hitter. Simpson's pitch, a little bit high. 2 balls and 1 strike. He shows bunt, ball bounces in, and there's a wild pitch for Simpson, and allows Hopkins to go down to third base. 3 balls and 1 strike now. Well, they didn't have to waste the bunt. They thought about it. But the pitch came in low, and so now it's 3-1. And that's ball 4 low. So an error and a walk to start the second, and Georgia's got things brewing, and they weren't paying attention, and who was? Taylor Justice. He didn't stop at first. He went all the way around to second base on the walk. So double play just got knocked out of play. Georgia recognizing the fact nobody covered second base, and Hayden Simpson was walking back to the mound thinking about the base on balls, and there's another 70 feet. Tucker showing bunt, and that's a strike. Winds gusting here to about 9 miles an hour, which is the highest we've seen it in a couple of days as it blows out toward right. Here's the pitch. High for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. On deck, Brady Carroll. 2-1 lead for Virginia, but Georgia's got 2 runners in scoring position. Nobody out here in the top of the second inning. Here's the pitch. That one's high and outside. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Hayden Simpson's pitch count now up to 33. Well, being efficient's a thing here. You try to get as many outs as you can with as few pitches as possible. There's a strike. We saw a pitcher for Texas yesterday that went 4 innings and hadn't used his 40 pitches. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Texas, by the way, the last of the unbeatens. They beat Florida today. They pretty much set themselves up for a real good chance to win this. Florida, talked to their coach today. They've been here 5 different times in the last 6 years. No COVID year. This one inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Teams out of Avon Park. This year, that city, that community, sent 4 teams to World Series. Here's the 3-2. Swung on and fouled out of play. Third base side. We'll do it again. And the 3-2. Another foul ball. What? I think there's conversation here about was there... Wes Tucker's wondering about, was that ball fair or foul? It certainly was a foul ball. I'm wondering if it was catcher interference, though. Yeah, that's maybe what they're talking about. Home plate umpire is going to go and confer with one of the field umpires. Weston Tucker was pretty much convinced that his bat got hit by the catcher's glove. Now it's a 3-man conference at the mound. It's a 3-2 count on Wes Tucker. Let's see if they're going to award him a base here. Yeah, they sure did. So catcher interference. Mayo got his catcher's mitt out a little bit far, and Tucker with that late swing, and now Virginia's coach would like a little explanation. Bill Dawson coming out. The home plate umpire, Dawson's going to argue, you've got the best view of that. How did you not see it? You're going to ask a guy that's 20, 30 feet away to make a ruling on something that you're standing inches from. And the home plate umpire says, well, I'm screened. I got the catcher in front of me, and I don't necessarily see that. All right. Well, everybody's, if not happy, at least satisfied. And now we got bases loaded, nobody out. Brady Carroll up. Infield in for Virginia. Going to look to get the force at home on a grounder in the infield. Pitch outside, ball 1. 38th pitch for Hayden Simpson. Coach Dawson's going to have to make this decision now. This one foul just out of reach of first baseman Kendall Napier. And the count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. On deck, the number 11 hitter, Grace Suggs. This inning began with an error by the shortstop, a walk, and now catcher's interference. And here's the pitch. That's high. Ball 2. 40th pitch. And Coach Dawson making no move out of the Virginia dugout. Stay with your guy. Here you go. Missing wide. 3 balls and 1 strike. No place to put Brady Carroll. Virginia with the 2-1 lead, but it is in jeopardy right now. Here's the pitch. Missing wide, ball 4. And we're tied up. RBI, Brady Carroll. Shaw Hopkins comes in to score. Justice moves up to third. Tucker to second. And the bases stay loaded for Grace Suggs, who's coming up. Other than the ground ball, Georgia hasn't hit a ball fair in this inning. They've been the beneficiaries of some fortuitous mistakes by Virginia. Here's the pitch. This one fouled. Strike 1. On deck, the number 12 hitter, Jude Davis. Georgia picked up 1 run in the first. They've added 1 here in the second. Still nobody out. Pitch a little high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, the Virginia infield playing in a bit. They're going to try to cut off a ball and get the force out at home. Stop another run from scoring. Ground ball foul behind home plate. It's 1 and 2 now. Tight spot here for Virginia. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Simpson shaking his head yes. He's ready from the pitch. Nope, missed it wide. 2-2. Xander Mayo, nice job to keep another run from scoring. He got way out of that box to get to that ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Simpson looking in. Here's the pitch. Oh, boy, got him. Fooled him with an off-speed pitch. Suggs started to check his swing and didn't matter as it caught the outside part of the plate. Good pitch from Hayden Simpson for the first out of the inning. Jude Davis up now. Virginia going to look at this in the same situation. We'll play the infield in. We'll try to cut off the run coming home. Davis, who's the center field today. Pitched a little bit yesterday. Fastball outside part of the plate, strike 1. Hayden Simpson trying to work out of a little stress here in the second. No balls, 1 strike. Shows bunt, pitch outside, 1-1. Georgia looking to try to figure out how to get Taylor Justice home from third base. Taylor's been over there for a minute. Here's the pitch way outside. Ball comes back, but no runners moving on it. Xander Mayo had to go hunt that one down. 2 balls and 1 strike now. Georgia not wanting to make an out at home, didn't take the chance on it. Davis set. Here's the pitch. Shows bunt, pops it foul, 2-2. Top of the order is on deck for Georgia, Whit Walters. Georgia's picked up 4 walks in these first 2 innings. Here's the pitch on the way, swing and a miss. That's strikeout number 2 and the second out of the inning. Hayden Simpson doing his best to shut the door here. Now it's a great matchup between he and Walters. He walked Walters the first time up. Witt stole the base and scored a run. This would be huge for Virginia. You got the bases loaded with nobody out. And if they can stop Georgia from scoring, massive lift. Here's Walters. First pitch swings on. Popped it up. Olin Wright's going to grab it at third base, and that's the inning. While we tied it up to Georgia, they left a lot on base. 3 men on base. There were no hits in the inning, 1 error, and we're tied at 2. We'll come back bottom of the second when we return here on Game Day. All right, welcome back. 2-2 ball game. Got to tip the hat for a second to starting pitcher for Virginia, Hayden Simpson. He got in all kinds of trouble in that second inning with bases loaded and nobody out. His coach made the decision, we're sticking with him. Strikeout, and a pop-out to end the inning. And we'll see if that becomes a huge moment in this game. And as luck would have it, as we're talking about him, Hayden Simpson will lead off this inning. He'll be followed by Brady Mays and Henry Wright. This is the 7, 8, 9 hitters. With defensive changes for Georgia. As Wes Tucker comes behind the plate, he's going to catch. And out in right field, Taylor Justice will be stepping into the game for Brady Carroll. Here's Simpson now. He's first at bat facing Dixon Law. First pitch swung on, lifted to center field. Started to take a step or two in. Jude Davis stopped and then took one backward and makes the catch. For out number 1, 1 pitch, 1 out. Georgia, Virginia, elimination game. Mays up now. Brady hitting from the left side. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled right back to the netting. No balls and 1 strike. Dixon Law got hit a little bit hard in the first, couple of doubles. But he settled in and got himself out of trouble as well. Deck, Henry Wright for Virginia. Here's the 0-1. Tried to check it. Umpire's going to say he didn't go around. 1 ball, 1 strike. That one low, 2 balls and 1 strike. "26 pitches now from Dixon Law. That's in there for a strike. Mays took a swing at it and I think got himself with the foul ball. He did. There's nothing you can do but walk that one off a little bit. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We remind you the winner of this plays again at 3 o'clock this afternoon. South Carolina, who has kind of flipped their way through this. They had an opening win over this Virginia team. And they beat Alabama. And after that, ended up sitting in the loser's bracket. There's a third strike, gets away. Mays takes a look back, but he's going to get there safely. So Brady Mays, he strikes out, but manages to get first base anyway on the pitch that got away from Wes Tucker. And now here's Henry Wright. One away and right up. Kind of strange, South Carolina has only played 2 games so far. By the way, Texas and Florida scoreless in the 3rd inning on their field. Florida wins. There's nobody unbeaten in the tournament. Texas wins. Florida, who was one of the favorites, is done. And Texas would take on the winner of South Carolina and the winner of this game. That would be tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Here's the pitch. That one way outside and low, wild pitch. And one more time, Brady Mays going to get down to second base. Here's the pitch to Wright. That one's outside again. Oh, and I'll tell you what, Mays catches Georgia falling asleep, and he just swipes third base. He waited halfway between second and third, and as soon as the catcher started throwing the ball back to the pitcher, he took off. So what should have been the second out of this inning is now standing at third base and is the go-ahead run. Here's the pitch. This one fouled back to the screen by Henry Wright. Devin Vyers on deck. Both Georgia and Virginia a little bit falling asleep on defense early in this game. Two balls and one strike. Here's a pitch. That one down low, ball 3. See Georgia's pitcher, Dixon Law, looking into his dugout. So he's getting his sign from his coach what he wants him to throw. Here's the 3-1. This one, ground ball back to the mound. It'll be Law with it. They've got Mays caught in a rundown. Now it's Reeves going back to Law. Law put the tag on for the second out. There's nobody really covering second base, and so alertly Henry Wright goes down there. So he reaches on the fielder's choice, ends up at second base. Brady Mays caught in a rundown. He's forced out. So with 2 away, here's Devin Vire up now. I say forced out. He was tagged out. They were a little aggressive at third. Probably should have waited just another step or two before they sent Mays for home, but he took off, and the decision was made by Dixon Law. I'm going to go for that out and stop the tying run from scoring. There's a swing and a miss by Vire for strike 1.
Wait on it.
Colton Gibson, number 12 hitter, or 11 hitter rather, on deck. Ground ball towards second. To Hopper, little trouble with it, but up in time is Shaw Hopkins, and that retires the side. No runs for Virginia in the second. There were no hits and 1 man left on base. Quick timeout. We're going to get a little bit of a water break going on. This is, again, a little warm today. We've got mid-80s, but the temperature is rising quickly, and we're expecting heat index to be around 110-ish or so by the middle of the day. So they're going to take a little bit of a hydration break, and we're going to come right back. We'll get you ready for the top of the third when we return here on Game Day.
Jace, y'all want something to drink?
All right, we welcome you back. We're in the middle of a water break, hydration break, they're going to call it. And we're, again, expecting it to be really warm today. They're not making sure that any of the kids get dehydrated, so they'll take a 5-minute break after every couple innings just to give the kids a chance to put some water in them, sit down for a minute, get out of the sun, and hopefully keep everybody healthy in what's not necessarily a long day today, just a couple of games, but hot days anyway. We want to remind you on some stuff here. Of course, Dixie Youth Baseball, now Diamond Youth Baseball, dates back to 1956 when the first of the major World Series was held. It was in this very state in Alexandria, Louisiana. They've added the World Series, the AAA World Series in 1999, Ozone in 2006. This is a volunteer-only nonprofit organization, and that's an important thing to remember. Nobody's making any money out here. The directors, the coaches, they all do this out of a love of the game and what they're trying to instill into these kids, which is participation, teamwork, and certainly sportsmanship. The officers for Diamond Youth Baseball, president is Kent Bruxfort from Rogers, Arkansas. Vice president is David Jackson from Parkton, North Carolina. Secretary is Robert Hudgens from Searcy, Arkansas. The treasurer, Wes Skelton from Marshall, Texas. Commissioner is William Wade from Wetumpka, Alabama, and his deputy commissioner, Jay Bennett from Clemson, South Carolina. And, of course, we're here in Louisiana, and their state director is Eric DeVille. So we want to just give a tip of the hat for them. This is an awesome event. I know when it was held down the road, I think in Ruston a couple of years ago, the impact on the local community and why these communities want to host these kind of events is certainly the dollars that come back. Folks from Ruston said something to the tune of around $6 million came into the local economy from hotel, motel, restaurants, gas purchases, that kind of stuff, food at the stores here if you're staying in your hotel. That's a big deal, and we're really proud here in Bossier City to be able to host this year. Hopefully we'll be able to host again somewhere down the road. This facility here at the Tinsley Sports Park is ideal for this thing. We were actually talking about the fact that we're going to move a couple of the smaller level, the AAA and the Majors World Series, to Field 9 and Field 10. They've been playing on the other fields, 5, 6, etc. If you see the mound from our view, you may not be able to see it very well, but around it are 3 little white marks. When the other leagues come, they're actually going to move the mound in. It's part of the beauty of this complex. The mound is not fixed in. It's actually a movable thing. The bases will be moved in as well. And so for the Ozone, bases are 70 feet apart, and you can kind of see at second base how it's way back on the brown part of the turf. For the other leagues, they'll move it in 10 feet, and so it'll be 60 feet around instead of 70 feet around, and the mound moves in 4 feet as well. So you've got the ability to tailor this ballpark for whichever league is playing here, and so it's one of the things that makes this facility real nice. Turf infield, you can kind of see a little bump on the outfield as it moves past the infield. That's grass out in the outfield. It's turf in the infield. So, again, set up perfectly for what we had this week, which was a little bit of rain early in the tournament. Looks like it's going to have sunshine here for today and tomorrow, and they've got grass for that part of things. So that's kind of the lowdown on what's going on here. Virginia going back out on the field now as we're getting ready to roll. They're starting outfielders back into the game now, so Henry Wright and Colton Gibson back in left field and right field, respectively. Georgia coming back to the plate. It'll be Fane Pate, the number 2 hitter, followed by Landon Reeves and Dixon Law. Hayden Simpson, who's already crossed the 40-pitch mark, he's at 52, stays out there. Now, again, we're at a place where you won't be able to use Hayden any longer in this tournament. We only have 1 day left. So how long you pitch him is how long Coach Dawson's comfortable with him out there. The max number of pitches is 85. Can't throw any more than that. So he's at 52 right now. And the end. If he gets to 85, his day's over. But as long as he's still feeling fine and he's out there, there's no tomorrow for Team If You Lose. So we get ready to roll. Fane Pate back at the plate. First pitch, he looks at, it's a called strike. He put down a sacrifice bunt his first time up. This one swung on. The count 0-2 now. Hayden Simpson would like to have a quick, easy inning. Hasn't had one of those yet. This one hit in the air, left field. Henry Wright going back, can't get to it. It's over his head, Pate's around first to second, and it's a leadoff double. So again, it won't be an easy inning for Hayden Simpson again. That is the second hit now that Georgia's picked up in this game. Here's Landon Reeves up, pitch wide for ball one. Reeves had the first hit of the game. It was a single that ultimately drove in Whit Walters with the first run. Pitch misses again, ball two. Two balls, no strikes. Third baseman Landon Reeves. Ball three, that gets by the catcher, and there's Fane Pate to third base now. Second wild pitch for Hayden Simpson so far today. That puts the go-ahead run at third. Count now 3-0 on Reeves. Dixon Law is the on-deck hitter for Georgia. Georgia jumped out to a 1-0 lead. Virginia took the 2-1 lead, and Georgia tied it up in the second. Now it's 3 balls and 1 strike as Reeves was taken all the way. That one misses wide. Ball 4. Second walk, Hayden Simpson's handed out. Go back to Reeves for a minute. Reeves came in yesterday in the game against Tennessee and basically shut down Tennessee. Came in the third inning and gave up 1 base runner early in that appearance in the third inning. And other than that, he shut down Tennessee and let his team move on in advance. And Coach Dawson coming out to see his infield now. Runners at first and third. What's the decision? Do we try to play for the double play and give up the go-ahead run, or are we trying to hold the runner at third base and we try to get a force with the bases loaded with the next batter? This is part of the dialogue. We'll remind you, winner is setting up for a date with South Carolina at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Any score update from Texas? Nope, still scoreless over there, and they're playing now in the bottom of the 4th inning. Texas and Florida. Yeah, I say that. Looks like Texas may just took a 1-0 lead in that game. All right, mound conversation over. Georgia's Dixon Law, starting pitcher. It's a chance to give his team the lead now with runners at first and third. Both teams a little bit of a long talk, both on the mound defensively and Coach of Georgia, Jake Walters, with his guys, and they're going to send the runner from first to second just to see if they can draw a throw. They do, but it's one that's cut off quickly by Riker Dawson. It really is defensively just, we'll give up the base. We'll see if we can't draw the runner in. 2-6-2 defense, basically. We'll go from the catcher to short, back to catcher. Was no runner moving. Pitch outside. Two balls, no strikes now to Dixon Law. Here's the pitch. Nope. Low and away, ball 3. Yep. This decision may be made for Virginia about how you play this. 3-0 count. Law may end up getting the base on balls anyway. And he does. Ball 4. So a double and 2 walks, and Georgia's got the bases loaded, and that may be all she wrote. Coach Dawson taking the walk out. 64 pitches thrown by Hayden Simpson today. And he's going to take the ball from him. He had one chance to try to get out of that, and he could not watch him walk any more batters. So he goes 2 full innings. Doesn't get any outs here in the third. Simpson strikes out 3. He walked 1, 2, 3, 4. At the moment, he's responsible for the 3 runs that are on as well as the 2 that have already scored. And coming into pitch now for Virginia, they're going to go to number 3, Riker Dawson. So Dawson's about to be second pitcher of the day, and he's got a little bit of a tough task. Bases loaded, nobody out, tie game. And the number 5 hitter, Cole Wilson, coming up to the plate. So far, Georgia with 2 runs on 2 hits. They've left 5 on base. On the other side, Virginia with 2 runs on 2 hits. They've left 2 runners on base. And Georgia's got the bases loaded again. They've loaded up the bases. Well, they got 2 on in the first. Bases loaded, nobody out in the second. Only managed to get 1 run out of that before Wes Simpson struck out 2 batters in a row and then got a pop out from Walters to end that second inning. So Dawson finishing up his warm-ups. We'll see who they're going to shift around to shortstop where Riker had been playing. Dawson looking good. Arm looks limber so far. Let's see, defensively, Olin Wright's going to go to shortstop, and Simpson's going to go to third. All right, here we go. As Dawson finishes the last of his warm-up tosses, he gets Cole Wilson, and if potentially Lane Nicolelli, Shaw Hopkins behind him. Wilson walked his first time up. Big spot for both teams. 2-2 game, top of the third. Here's the pitch from Dawson. Breaking ball, little inside, ball 1. Got a good biting breaker. Kind of backed Wilson off, thought he was about to get hit, and that thing came back toward the plate. And he bounces that one in. 2 balls, no strikes. Fortunately for Riker Dawson, he does not have much time to get loose now. He's got to go. Infield in for Virginia. Swing and a miss. Wilson really was uncertain about committing to swinging at that, but he does, and it's 2-1. Mayo setting up outside. Pitch comes there. Ground ball. It's back to Dawson. They'll get the force at home for 1 out. And the double play getting out the batter going to first. A 1-2-3 double play. Dawson to Mayo to Napier. They force out the run coming from third and get out the batter going down the line. And quickly there's 2 away, and that's a huge play. And first pitch grounder. Shortstop Olin Wright, throw across in time. And that'll end the inning. Riker Dawson comes in. Bases loaded, nobody out. He ends up getting a double play and a ground out. Georgia gets nothing out of it, and they leave 2 more runners on base. That is 7 through 3 innings. We're still tied at 2. We'll come back for the bottom of the third when we return here on Game Day. All right, welcome back. A couple of changes defensively again for Georgia, as every player's got to get it in the game, and they shift some guys around. And we talked about it earlier yesterday. You don't want in this heat catchers to have to do too much work wearing that gear. So what's going to happen here is Shaw Hopkins is going to go down to catch in this half inning. Out in right field is going to go number 15, Gray Suggs. And let's see what other change we've got infield-wise. I can't remember who's playing at second. Again, young eye Zach Doty can probably see second base better than I. Rest of the infield, Landon Reeves at third. Whit Walters is at short. First base is Lane Nicolelli, and Brady Carroll's moved down to second base. All right, off we go. For Virginia, it's the number 11 hitter, Colton Gibson, leading things off. First pitch called strike. Still on the mound working, Dixon Law. Law at 36 pitches now. This one grounded foul behind home plate. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. After Colton Gibson, Virginia's back to the top of the order. Riker Dawson, Olin Wright. No balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3 to look, and as Gibson's down on strikes, second strikeout of the afternoon for Dixon Law. Here's Riker Dawson up now. Dawson doubled, scored a run, but nothing may have been bigger than on the mound the last half inning. Comes in with bases loaded, nobody out, gets a double play. And the next pitch, a grounder to get out of the bases-loaded jam. First pitch called strike. Good breaking ball. And pitch number 39. See if Georgia's going to let Dixon Law keep going, or if this is going to be all. Pitch high, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. No movement in the Georgia dugout. It's going to be Dixon Law. Here's the pitch. Down low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jake Walters making the decision about his son Whit. There's a called strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dixon Law starting on the mound. Whit's coming in relief in the past. Landon Reeves, I believe he burned yesterday. There's 2 balls and 2 strikes. This one hit just over Walters' head into left field. Riker Dawson got just enough of that to lift it over Whit Walters' head. And the go-ahead run gets on base with 1 out for Virginia here in the bottom of the 3rd. Riker Dawson 2 for 2 today. Olin Wright up now. He lined out to the shortstop first time up. So this is in Dixon Law's hands at least through the 3rd inning. And we got a balk. Law apparently hadn't set. And now the go-ahead run moves to second base. On deck, Xander Mayo. Here's Olin Wright, though. Pitch on the way from Law. Misses a little outside, ball 1. Game of inches. If Walters was maybe 1 step further back, he probably catches that line drive. Breaking ball grounder to Reeves. He's got it. He'll make the throw across. And in time. No, not in time. No, not in time. Umpire on the field said, no, are they going to talk? Nope, it's going to be that Olin Wright beat it out. All right, well, infield single then. Reeves made the play and a good strong throw. It's just Wright's that quick out of the box. And so runners are at first and third now. As Riker Dawson moved over to third base, and Coach Walters is just trying to calm down his pitcher. We got a 2-2 game. Yeah. We're going to make a change defensively. Let's see who we're moving. We got all kinds of moving parts. That's going to do it for Dixon Law. So let him pitch a few more, and then that was all. Fane Pate's about to come in to pitch. And we'll shift some players around defensively. While he's warming up, we'll take a quick break. Come back in 30 seconds here on Game Day. All right, big moment again here in this game. Third inning's been stressful for both of these teams. And now for Georgia, it's their turn to try to wiggle out of a little issue. Runners at first and third, one away. And new pitcher, Fane Pate, coming to the mound. Here's the numbers on Dixon Law. Went 2 1/3 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs at the moment. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 2. And Fane Pate's got to deal with Xander Mayo now. Mayo doubled to right center his first time up. And Georgia's still playing him to pull, even though he went the other way last time. Right-hander Pate, first pitch, in there for a strike. Off goes the runner, and there'll be no contesting for Olin Wright to go down to second. No balls, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now. On deck hitter is Kendall Napier. Virginia worked out of a bases loaded, no out jam in the top of the inning. Pate trying to work out a 2 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the inning, as that one's fouled out. Very competitive game between these two. Seen some blowout games. This one's a nail biter. Pate misses wide as he drops sidearm. Counts 2 balls, 2 strikes now.
Put it on the ground somewhere.
Fane Pate is started this game behind the plate. He moved to left field. Now he's on the mound, and he just misses inside. Tried to spin it back and just didn't come quite far enough back to the plate. Now the count's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nope, 2 balls, 2 strikes, my bad. 2-2. Ground ball toward first. Fielded there. Reeves takes the ball. Run's going to come in and score, however. So Xander Mayo grounds out, but he picks up an RBI as Riker Dawson scores from third base. And Virginia's got the lead 3-2. Kendall Napier up now. Napier struck out back in the first. Swing and a miss. Olin Wright's at third base. 1 run's come across for Virginia here in this inning. Oh, that's good fastball. In on the hands for called strike 2. Brady Deacon's waiting for Virginia. Hard hit ball. That's going to drive in a run as Napier goes the other way. And now it's 4-2 Virginia. Kendall Napier with his first run batted into the game. Third hit of the inning for Virginia. It started with Riker Dawson single, Olin Wright singled, and now Napier has singled. And there's Brady Deacon, who swings and misses at the first pitch.
Don't slow your swing down. Don't slow your
Swing by Napier as he went with the ball the other way
swing on.
into left field. This one ground ball fielded by the shortstop, Whit Walters. He'll touch the bag, and that'll end the inning. But Virginia picks up 2 more runs, courtesy of 3 hits. There were no errors and 1 man left on. Virginia with a 4-2 lead. Georgia coming to bat. Top of the 4th when we return here on Game Day. All right, welcome back here to the Tinsley Sports Complex, Bossier City, Louisiana. Day number 4 of the Diamond Youth 12 and under Division II Ozone World Series tournament. Teams from Georgia and from Virginia fighting it out here for a chance to play South Carolina this afternoon at 3 o'clock. 4-2 lead for Virginia as Georgia brings the 7, 8, 9 hitters up against Riker Dawson. That means Shaw Hopkins, Taylor Justice, and Weston Tucker. Been a back-and-forth affair. Georgia took a 1-0 lead. Virginia went up 2-1. Georgia tied it back up again. And now Virginia's 2 runs in that bottom of the 3rd gives them the lead. Texas up 2-0 on Florida now as that game's in the top of the 5th inning. Top of the 6th inning, excuse me. Which means Florida's got to pick up a couple runs. They're on their part of the ball game now. 2 runs or Florida's done, and Texas unbeaten would go into tomorrow's state championship, World Series championship game. First pitch, a little bit high. Shaw Hopkins, who reached on an error, stole a base, and ended up scoring. Riker Dawson, pretty much been the guy today. Bunt foul, third base side. Dawson's 2 for 2, 2 runs scored, and is coming in relief. Got out of a bases-loaded jam in the 3rd inning. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Actually 1-1. Now it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Shaw Hopkins. There's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. First out of the 4th. Taylor Justice up. Justice with a base on balls, first time up. Georgia has threatened and threatened and threatened in this game. First pitch inside, ball 1. They scored the first run of the game and left 2 runners on in that inning. They loaded the bases in the 2nd, got just 1 run. This one hit in the air just over the head of second baseman Stephen Allen for a base hit for Taylor Justice. And then they got bases loaded in the 3rd and didn't get any runs out of it. So far, 7 left on for Georgia as they get a runner on here in the 4th. Tying run coming to the plate, and Weston Tucker, who reached on catcher's interference first time up. Olin Wright, by the way, is behind the plate now. Riker's ground ball towards short. They'll go for one and the relay in time. They got him. 6-4-3 double play. Second one of this game turned by Virginia's defense, and they slam the door on Georgia here in the fourth. No runs, one hit, nobody left on base. Bottom of the inning coming up. 4-2, Virginia with the lead. All right, welcome back. Georgia back on defense as Virginia's got a 4-2 lead, but defense has been the story of this game. A couple of double plays turned by Virginia. One in the third with the bases loaded, one in the fourth. And they've got them different ways. A conventional 6-4-3 in the last one. The inning before that, they went 1-2-3. All right. Fane Pate back on the mound for Georgia. Stephen Allen, Hayden Simpson, and Brady Mays scheduled to hit for Virginia. As mentioned earlier, there's some pedigree in the Amherst County High School for guys that made the show or have been pretty big in baseball. Ken Dixon pitched for the Orioles back in the mid-'80s. Randy Tomlin for the Pirates in the 1990s. And maybe not a guy that played so much as managed. Buddy Bailey, he was manager of the Myrtle Beach Pelicans. That's a Cubs affiliate. He has managed for 36 years in the minor leagues. He's the winningest active minor league manager with 2,350 plus wins. First pitch, fouled by Stephen Allen out of play. He flew out to left his first time up. We see you, Virginia. Got some guys that have done some stuff in baseball. Here's the pitch. This one swung on and missed, and that counts no balls and 2 strikes to Allen. Playing in the bottom of the fourth. Trying to advance. Ground ball towards short. Throw across in time. Walters across to Lane Reeves to retire Stephen Allen for the first out of the fourth. Florida has tied the game with Texas, by the way. 2-2, the top of the sixth. They needed 2 runs. They got 2 runs. Look like Texas is changing pitchers. Swing and a miss by Simpson, who's up now. He flew out to center his first time up. Florida was down to their last 2 outs. And came back and tied that game up. Here's the pitch. This one grounder foul, third base side. Oh, Coach Dawson with the nimble feet and the good hands. No balls and 2 strikes. Brady Mays on deck for Virginia. Another foul. Hayden Simpson. Fane Pate, second pitcher for Georgia today. Came in relief of Dixon Law, went 2 1/3 innings, gave up the 4 runs that are on the board. Pitch misses low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brady Carroll behind the plate catching for Georgia now. Swing and a miss, and that'll be the second out of the inning. As Simpson goes down. Here's Mays now. actually struck out his first time up, but managed to get on base because strike 3 got away from the catcher and allowed him to get on, and that was a big deal because he came around to score. Here's the pitch. Outside and low, ball 1. Henry Wright on deck. That pitch a little bit high. 2 balls, no strikes. Got the face mask of our home plate umpire. And here's the pitch. That one's high, ball 3. Texas got out of the inning. So tie ball game, bottom of the 6th coming up at the other field. 2-2. Inside and low, and Mays is on for a second time. This one a base on balls. Number 9 hitter Henry Wright up now. He reached on a fielder's choice.
Now batting, number 34, Henry Wright.
Virginia 4, Georgia 2. Bottom of the 4th. Winner gets to play this afternoon. We take down the loser's flag from the outfield wall. Pitch misses low. Carroll going to throw down to second, but not in time as Mays grabs second base. Virginia looking to add at least a little more insurance up there. By the way, Riker Dawson's gotten through 2 innings now with just 12 pitches. This one hit hard on a line. Oh, what a catch in left field. Holy cow, down to the ground, backhanded grab out there in left field. Is that Cole Wilson out there with the catch? I can't see a number coming in. They've shifted so many players around. But it ends the inning nonetheless on the highlight play. Wilson with the grab, and that'll end the inning. No runs for Virginia in the 4th. There were no hits. And there was 1 man left on base. We've got our hydration break coming up, so we'll take a couple minutes. We'll come right back. 4-2, Virginia with the lead over Georgia with the Diamond Youth World Series, day number 4. Quick timeout. We're coming right back here on Game Day. All right, welcome back. Hydration break coming to an end. Kids from Virginia heading back out to the field as Georgia steps up here in the top of the 5th inning. The Texas and Florida game. Anyway, Texas and Florida still playing. That game's in the 7th now with the 2-2 ball game. Here we've got a 4-2 lead, and Frank just came running over here. The guy that's calling our Florida-Texas presentation said there was an error apparently by Texas that let Florida's 2 runs come across to score in the bottom of the 7th. So they're knocked up at 2 now, notched up at 2. We're at a 4-2 ball game, and Riker Dawson going back to work here for Virginia. He's going to get Brady Carroll, Gray Suggs, and Jude Davis. That's the 10, 11, 12 hitters in the Georgia lineup, trying to preserve this 2-run lead. To get here, Virginia with an opening round loss to South Carolina. Then they beat Mississippi, and they beat South Carolina's runner-up. South Carolina, the one state this year that got to bring their runner-up to the tournament. We had 11 state champions. We had the runner-up from South Carolina, and we had the host from Vivian, Louisiana. Georgia with the wins over Mississippi, Louisiana, a loss to Texas, and an elimination win over Tennessee. All right, Brady Carroll fouls off the first pitch. He walked in the second. No balls and 1 strike. Shows bunt. It's a good one, but it rolls foul, third base side. 4 strike number 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Smart play by third baseman Hayden Simpson. Let that thing roll. Simpson's at third, Olin Wright's at short, Stephen Allen at second, and Kendall Napier at first. Another bunt attempt. This one right in front of home plate. Fair ball picked up by Mayo. He'll throw it over to Napier, and that will retire Brady Carroll for the first out of the inning. Henry Wright's out in left. Brady Deacon, I think, is in center, and Colton Gibson is in right field. I say I think because they've moved players around. I got to change that. Olin Wright's actually behind the plate, not at short. There's a good breaking ball to Gray Suggs. He struck out first time up. Another breaking ball. Boy, just missed the plate. Suggs almost ducked into that right in front of the home plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Goes with it again. Ground ball towards short. Oh, and off the glove. And into left field. Xander Mayo, who's playing short, with the error. And the tying run coming to the plate in Jude Davis. Little life here for Georgia. Davis struck out in the second. Riker Dawson's pitch. Lifted foul out of play first base side. Texas, Florida back at it. They're in the bottom of the 7th. Top of the 7th. All right, top of the 7th. Frank told us wrong then. He said the errors came in the bottom of the 6th. We'll throw over to first, and back over there was Brady Carroll. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch to Davis. That's a strike. It's the count 1 and 2 on Jude Davis. The 1-2 pitch. Bounced it in there. Carroll's going to take off, and he'll move down to second base. Excuse me, a Suggs rather. Down to second base on the wild pitch. Count 2 and 2 now on Jude Davis. Suggs, an important run. It may not be a tying run, but it gets Georgia much closer. This one lifted into right center. That's going to be trouble. It'll get down. They had to hold up to wait, make sure the ball was caught. Here comes Suggs chugging around third. He's going to come in and score. It's a 4-3 game. RBI for the number 12 hitter, Jude Davis. Just got a ball into right center that nobody could get to, and he had to wait for it to drop to make sure it wasn't caught so he wouldn't get doubled off. And once he saw it fall, they waved him around to Coach Walters, and now we got a 4-3 game, and we're back to the top of the order. Whit Walters up, tying run at first. Pitch misses wide. It's the first hit that Riker Dawson's given up. And that error looms large now. Ground ball foul. On deck, Fane Pate. We're at the top of the order for Georgia. They're down by 1 run now. Pitch misses wide. 2 balls and a strike. This inning started innocently enough. Little tap bunt right in front of home plate. Brady Carroll got thrown out. Gray Suggs with a grounder to short. Couldn't handle it cleanly. This ball is going to drop into right field, and runners are going to be at first and second. Base hit Whit Walters, his first hit of the game. Davis now at second. Walters is the go-ahead run. He's standing at first. Georgia trying to rally back here. Fane Pate is at a sacrifice bunt and a double. And again, big gap in right center. They're playing over a little bit toward left center, and Coach Dawson's coming out to see his infield. And that's going to be all for Riker. Pitching change. You're showing me something. I don't know what you're saying to me. I don't know. Pitching change coming for Virginia as Riker Dawson's off the mound now. Boy, gave him a couple of really good innings, though, and kept Virginia in a position where they can win this ball game. It's going to be up to a new pitcher to come in and do it, though. All right, and we'll see who they're shifting around as Virginia's taking their time. Let's take a quick time out. They're making a pitching change. We'll take a break. We'll come back as the new guy comes to the mound and warms up, and we'll get you ready to go with an out here in the top of the 5th inning. Coming right back. All right, pitching change for Virginia. Olin Wright going to come to the mound to pitch. Riker Dawson going back to shortstop. Xander Mayo hanging out still behind the plate now, or going back to behind the plate. The numbers for Riker Dawson: 2 in the 3rd innings. Gave up 2 hits, 1 run so far. Struck out 1, walked none. He leaves with a 4-3 lead. Both base runners on base belong to him. Jude Davis at second, Whit Walters at first. And Fane Pate coming to the plate. This is the top of the 5th. 4-3 now Virginia still holding on to the lead. Get the go-ahead runs at first base for Georgia. And Olin Wright stepping off. I'm trying to see if Olin pitched the last time we saw Virginia. It's been a while since I've seen him, and I think he's pitched in every game for Virginia. And we got a little discussion again going on. Umpires all getting set now. All right, let's try it again. If you win, you get a few hours off, and you got to play at 3. Pitch low to Fane Pate. One ball, no strikes. Wright's pitch up top, 2-0. Landon Reeves on deck. This one hits over the head of the third baseman, and bases are going to be loaded. Just out of the reach of Hayden Simpson at third base. 3 straight hits for Georgia now, and they have loaded up the bases. And Landon Reeves steps to the plate. He has singled and walked in this game. A little timeout discussion going on before we get going. Georgia just does not go away easily. Reeves with a hit in the game that eliminated Tennessee, but he came in and pitched outstanding ball for 4 innings. Pitch high and outside, ball 1. Tying run now at third for Georgia, in the person of Jude Davis. Inside ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Riker Dawson represents, Whit Walters represents the go-ahead run for Georgia. There's 1 out in the inning. Missing wide, ball 3. As Virginia teams turn double plays in the 3rd and 4th. Boy, they need one now. 3 balls, no strikes. Olin Wright's delivery. Inside, ball 4, we're tied. Reeves with a single and 2 walks today. He's picked up his 2nd run batted in. Jude Davis trots in from 3rd to score.
Now batting for Georgia, number 13.
Walters to 3rd, Pate to 2nd, Reeves to 1st. And Dixon Law, who started this game as Georgia's starting pitcher, steps up with a 4-4 game. He's reached on a fielder's choice and walked. He's a cleanup man in their lineup. First pitch, he's going to hit this to left center. 1 run scores. Are going to be more. Walters scores. Pate scores. Reeves hustling for 3rd. He'll slide in safe. Double from Dixon Law. And Georgia goes up 6-4. Two runs batted in for Dixon Law. And Cole Wilson up now. This inning began very innocently. A little bunt out, and then a ground ball. This is a push bunt foul. That ground ball ended up being an error off the bat of the number 10 or 11 hitter Gray Suggs. Jude Davis singled. Whit Walters singled. Virginia changes pitchers. Fane Pate singles. Landon Reeves walks. And now Dixon Law with a 2-run double. And this has been a 4-run inning for Georgia. No balls and 2 strikes now to Cole Wilson. That's inside ball 1. Wilson has walked in the 1st and hit into the 1-2-3 double play in the 3rd. Pitch missing wide. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Infield playing in for Virginia. Of course, bases are not loaded. First base is open. Wilson needing a little shoe assistance. All right, he comes back in there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Texas, Florida still knotted at 2. That ball almost hit him, and now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, first base is open, so it's not the end of the world for a base on balls here. This one ground ball off the glove of the pitcher. Run's going to come in to score. Everybody's safe. Glanced off the glove of Olin Wright as he tried to field that. That allowed Reeves to come in to score from third base. Dixon Law goes to third, and safe at first, Cole Wilson. And here's Lane Nicolelli. 5 runs across in the inning. That's a called strike as Wilson takes off and grabs second base. 8-4 Georgia lead. They started this inning down by 2. They have rallied past Virginia now. Pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss by Nicolelli. Actually 7-4 the score, not 8-4. 5 runs across in the inning. Breaking ball inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch misses. 3 balls and 2 strikes. On deck hitter, Shaw Hopkins. Swung on foul, wide to third base. We'll do 3 and 2 again. This has all happened with 1 out in the inning. Georgia now in a place to try to talk about advancing against South Carolina. Still got the bottom of the inning coming up, though, here in the 5th. We're a long way away from the end. Ground ball, this is to third. Throw across, nope, off the mark. That's going to be an error. 1 run scores. Second one coming in. 2 come in already. And now racing around for third base and diving in head first is Lane Nicolelli. And it's a 9-4 lead. Virginia with a couple of errors in this inning.
Now batting for Georgia, number 5, Shaw Hopkins.
And now here's Hopkins batting. 7 straight runs, this one behind the batter for ball 1. Hopkins has reached on an error and struck out. 5 hits in the inning for Georgia. 2 errors and a walk. That one inside ball 2. And Coach Dawson coming back out. And I think Mayo may be coming in to throw. Pitching change coming for Virginia. We'll take a break. We'll come right back as they bring a new pitcher in here on game day. welcome back. We got a little bit of a delay, and what happened is the team from Virginia decided they're going to flip the catcher and pitcher. So Olin Wright, who was on the mound, was going back behind the plate. Xander Mayo, who was the catcher, was going to the mound. And, well, Mayo was out doing his warm-up tosses. One of the balls that came back from Olin Wright actually glanced off of his glove and hit him in the face. And so you may have seen it just real quickly. He went down in a heap at the mound, and they needed a few minutes to warm things back or cool things back down, let Mayo kind of make sure his face was okay. And now we're back to letting him warm up his tosses as Wright and Mayo playing catch on the mound, and obviously a sore face and a little bit of bad feelings at the moment. Virginia trying to hold it together here, trailing 9-4 now, as they have given up 2, 4, 6, 7 runs here in this inning. And again, all this happened with one out. They got the first out of the inning. There was an error on a ground ball, and then 3 straight hits, a walk, and 2 more hits, and then another error. And things have a little bit unraveled for Virginia here in the 5th. They got to come back and bat. And again, this game is a long way from being over. They still have 2 more innings to be able to bat. And while they trail at the moment by 5, we just watched a Georgia team put up 7 in this half inning. So it's certainly within the realm of still being part of the game that Virginia is nowhere near being done. But the task right now for Coach Dawson and his staff is trying to get everybody back on the same page. A little discombobulated at the moment. So you saw the little fist bump there from the umpire and Xander Mayo. And we go back to live action now. New pitch. This is the 3rd pitcher of the inning. Started with Riker Dawson, then Olin Wright, now Xander Mayo. And the first pitch, a swing and a miss by Shaw Hopkins. Hopkins reached on there, struck out. He's the number 7 hitter for Georgia. That's outside for a ball. It's a 9-4 game. There's a runner at third base. That's Cole Wilson over there. Excuse me, Lane Nicolelli over there. This one ground ball foul. And it counts 3 balls, 2 strikes now. Of course, the first 2 pitches that Shaw Hopkins saw were behind him or at him. Here's the 3-2. That one's ball 4. Bounces all the way to the screen. Nicolelli froze for just a second, but then he hit the gas and got in and slides in safely, trying to go down to second base, and thrown out now is Shaw Hopkins, as Georgia got a little greedy right there, trying to pick up the extra base. And he got thrown out, but Nicolelli scores, and that makes it a 10-4 lead. 8 runs in this inning. Base is empty, 2 outs. Taylor Justice up now. That's outside, ball 1.
Batting for Georgia is number 21, Taylor Justice.
Missing outside. 2 balls, no strikes. On deck, Weston Tucker. If he bats, that would mean all 12 Georgia batters came to the plate in this inning. That's a swinging miss. 2 balls and 1 strike. Make it 3-1 as he's wide with the pitch. Hayden Simpson started this game on the mound for Virginia. Riker Dawson came in, got a couple of big double plays to get out of jams. And then he got in a little trouble here in the 5th inning, and there's a base on balls. The 2 straight walks for Xander Mayo.
Georgia number 42, Weston Tucker.
And Weston Tucker's up. Tucker reached on a catcher's interference and hit into a 6-4-3 double play. Throw over to first. Back safely is Taylor Justice. Georgia scored first in the 1st. Virginia picked up 2. Georgia got one back and tied this game. We were tied for a minute. We got to the third inning. Virginia picked up 2, and now 8 have come across for Georgia here in the top of the 5th. That pitch outside, throw down to first base, and safe over there. Still 2-2 ball game, Florida and Texas. They are playing in the 8th. Swung ground ball, one hopper to second base, and that'll end the inning. But before it ends, 8 runs come across for Georgia. They do that on 5 hits. There were 3 walks and 2 errors. They'll leave 1 man on base. Bottom of the 5th coming up, 10-4. Georgia with the lead when we return here on Game Day. Our bottom of the 5th inning. Georgia with the 10-4 lead. A little defensive change in this one. Wes Tucker's moved over to third base for Georgia. So they're infield. And of course, Shaw Hopkins still behind the plate. Brady Carroll's at second. Landon Reeves, who started the game at third, is at first. For Virginia, Devin Vire starting things out, and he looks at actually swings at a first pitch for strike 1. Fane Pate, second pitcher for Georgia. Working here in the 5th, missing wide. And the count now, 1 ball, 1 strike. It'll be Vire, Gibson, and back to the top of the order to Dawson. This one lifted up in the air. Called for by the first baseman, Landon Reeves, who comes barreling across the mound for out number 1.
Now batting for Virginia, number 2.
Gibson, the number 11 hitter. Colton struck out his first time up in the 3rd. Fane Pate came in the 3rd inning in relief of Dixon Law. Since he's come in there, he's walked 1, given up 1 hit. He starts out Gibson with a called strike. That one way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. That's odd ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Still keeping our eye on field number 9, where Texas and Florida still playing bottom of the 8th inning. 2-2 ball game. And for them, winner advances to play tomorrow. Loser has to deal with an extra game. There's ball 4 as Colton Gibson gets a base on balls with 1 away. Florida on the verge of elimination. Texas has yet to lose in this tournament. Top of the order now, Riker Dawson. Runner off and trying to go to second base. And he's safe. Gibson with the steal with 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. So for Virginia, you're not going to get probably all 6 runs back. I mean, you could, but you'd like to get a little bit closer when you have to come up in the 6th inning. Fastball to Dawson. That's outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Riker 2 for 2. A couple of singles, 2 runs scored. And that one misses inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fane Pate at 36 pitches now. So he checks out the dugout and takes a little bit long getting the sign in from his coach in the dugout, and Riker Dawson steps out. Ground ball toward Walters. Only play is going to be to first. That will be successful. And they almost caught a little bit too far off the bag at second. Colton Gibson after the throw across. So Dawson out for the first time today. Second out of the inning.
0-0, Olin Wright.
And here's Olin Wright now. Wright's lined out, singled and scored a run. And that may be all she wrote for Fane Pate. It is. Coach Walters with 37 pitches from Fane Pate, knowing he's got a game at 3 o'clock today. And if they win a game again tomorrow, well, tell you what, maybe not. He's going to give him a chance to see if he can't get right out with 2 outs in the inning. He's got 3 pitches to be able to try to do it. Here's the pitch. Hit hard and foul first base side. No balls, 1 strike now on the batter, Olin Wright. Georgia's coach checking the verification of the pitch count. Swing and a miss. 39 pitches now. This may be the last one for Fane Pate. He's got an 0-2 count on Olin Wright. Just inside, couldn't get him. And that'll be all. Fane Pate's going to hand off Olin Wright with a 1-2 count to whomever the next pitcher is. As Coach Walters comes in. And he points to Wes Tucker. So Tucker's going to be the guy. We'll let him warm up. We'll take a break. We're going to come right back. 10-4, Georgia with the lead here on Game Day. All righty, welcome back. Wes Tucker warming up. We'll move some players around defensively. Pate's going to go back out into the field. He'll go to left field. Landon Reeves, who was at first, goes to third base. And let's see who Georgia moved over to first base. Maybe Nicolelli, who started the game over there. So the count's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Olin Wright as Wes Tucker inherits that count and a new 40 pitches to play with. And the first pitch is swung on and lined foul into the left field corner. So still no balls and 1 ball, 2 strikes to Olin Wright. Xander Mayo is the on-deck hitter for Virginia. There are 2 outs in the inning, runner at second base. Virginia's down 10-4. And the pitch from Tucker, missing wide. That'll let the runner move to third base. Colton Gibson picks up the base on the pitch. And the count's now 2-2 to Wright. Wes Tucker's caught some today, been at third base today. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Olin Wright to end the 5th. No runs for Virginia. There were no hits and a man left on. Top of the 6th coming up. It's Georgia 10, Virginia 4 here on game day. All right, we're back for the top of the 6th inning. Chuck Zach along with you as we are coming at you live from Bossier City's Tinsley Sports Complex. It's day 4 of the 12 and under Ozone Division II World Series. Division I starts play on Friday. Their championship set up for a week from Wednesday. But we got to get through Division II first. The smaller towns from the south. Finishing up here, Texas and Florida still going. Their game now in the top of the 9th inning. Is that Marathon's taking a bit of a hydration break, and that may be good news for one of these teams and maybe for South Carolina because somebody's using up a bunch of pitchers over there. We know Texas burned Evan Vanover yesterday, who threw an outstanding, had a perfect game going, and Texas couldn't get the 10th run in to eliminate who they play, South Carolina. They couldn't get the 10th run to eliminate South Carolina. Vanover lost his perfect game. They ended up winning the game nonetheless, but they had a short game going. Instead, they used more pitching than they probably wanted to. So here's Brady Carroll, the lead off the top of the 6th inning, and he gets hit with the very first pitch from Xander Mayo. And he's on for the second time today. He walked earlier, grounded out to the catcher on that little bunt attempt, his last time up leading off the 5th inning. He's on first base here in the 6th, and Gray Suggs, who reached on an error on a grounder to short in the last inning, comes up now. We're at the 10, 11, 12 hitters in the Georgia lineup. Georgia with a run in the 1st, a run in the 2nd, and an 8 spot in the 5th. And Suggs swings and misses. Got the snowman. Inning number 5. No balls, 1 strike. This one fouled back. It's 0-2 to Gray Suggs. You're wondering about it for Virginia in the 6th. 3, 4, 5 hitters are scheduled. No balls, 2 strikes. That one's outside. Throw down to first. And back there safely is Brady Carroll. Win and you play at 3 against the champion from South Carolina. Elimination game. Foul out again. For the team from Georgia, they've been playing elimination games. They played one against Tennessee yesterday. This is one against Virginia today. If they win, they'll have to play an elimination game against South Carolina this afternoon. Missing with the pitch. Taken off for second base is Carroll, and he takes that base. And count 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Gray Suggs. Eight hits for Georgia to get their 10 runs. He left a bunch of runners on early. 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 more in the third. They knocked them all in, though, in the fifth. Foul ball again back to the screen. Suggs hanging around. Suggs with a strikeout, an error that he reached on, and a run scored. Waiting on deck, Jude Davis. Swing and a miss, and there's your first out of the inning. Good fastball from Xander Mayo. And here comes Jude Davis, strikeout and a single. Knocked in a run, scored a run. 1 out, top of the 6th. Number 12 man in the order. Strike on the outside part of the plate. 0-1. This one popped up. It's Mayo calling everybody off in foul territory. He makes the catch. 4 out, number 2. Sorry about the delay on the call. I'm blocked by part of our cinder block wall here in the press box, and I had to wait until he cleared that to see if Mayo made the catch. There's 2 away now. And back to the top of the order, Whit Walters. Walters with a walk, a pop out, and a single. He scored a couple runs. Runner at second as he takes a hack for strike 1. Brady Carroll at second base for Georgia. 2 outs, top of the 6th. Ground ball past Dawson Riker into left field. They'll wave around Carroll, who's going to come in to make an 11-4 ball game. RBI for for Whit Walters, rather, his second hit of this game. And now it's an 11-4 Georgia lead. Fane Pate up. Pate with a sacrifice bunt, a double, and a single. First pitch swinging. Going down to second is Walters, and he'll be safe. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch, way outside. 1-1 the score, the count now. Mayo's pitch rides inside on Pate, and that makes it a 2-1 count. Foul tip into the glove of the catcher. Collision down there at third base as Mays tried to get that ball coming around his Walters. Let's see if this is a conversation. That ball was foul tipped and into the catcher's glove. Dawson's going to check. Coach Dawson's wanting a little conversation about this. It's Brady Mays and Whit Walters collided. Walters coming down to third base, and him colliding with Mays made it where Mays couldn't catch the ball that was thrown down from Oland Wright. As that ball sailed into left field, allowed Whit Walters to come in to score. They're still having this talk, but apparently the decision stands. The run's going to come in and score. And now it's a 12-4 game. Fastball buzzes by Fane Pate inside, and the count's full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bases empty. 2 runs across for Georgia here in the 6th. Swing and a miss, and that will end the 6th inning. 2 runs for Georgia in the inning. They do that courtesy of 1 hit, and there were no runners left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Virginia's got some work to do, down 8. If you're watching us here on Game Day. All right, welcome back. Bottom of the 6th inning. Georgia needs 3 outs before Virginia can pick up 8 runs. Xander Mayo, the number 3 hitter, to face Wes Tucker. Mayo with a double in the 1st, ground out in the 3rd. And here he comes up to lead off the 6th. Righty Wes Tucker, first pitch. It's a little topper grounder that's foul toward the first base side for strike 1. Mayo, Kendall Napier, and Brady Deacon to bat for Virginia. Virginia had a 4-2 lead going into the 5th. And Georgia put up 8 then, 2 more in the 6th. And the count now 1 ball, 1 strike. Shaw Hopkins trying to convince the home plate umpire. I'm going to leave it out here for you and see if you can see where that was a strike call. Umpire said, no, a little outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, make it 2-1. It's amazing how at 12 years and under, these kids have figured out framing the pitches for the umpire. Here's the 2-1, make it 3-1. It's gone a looping breaking ball last 3 times to Mayo. Wes Tucker, 3rd pitcher of the afternoon now for Georgia. That one inside, ball 4. The leadoff walk. You got to start someplace if you're Virginia. That's how you do it. 1 at a time. Kendall Napier up next. Strikeout and a foul out. Excuse me, and a single rather. He drove in a run. He ended up getting forced out at second base. Tucker's pitch way over the top, and Mayo's going to trot down to second base on the extra wild pitch. Dixon Law started this game, went 2 1/3 innings, gave up the 4 runs. Fane Pate went 2 1/3 innings as well. 1 strikeout, 2 walks, 1 hit, but no runs came in to score. And now it's Wes Tucker. Just trying to finish this thing off. 2 balls and no strikes to count to Kendall Napier. This is a seemingly easy task. Throw the ball over the plate. Doesn't happen to be as easy as it sounds, as that one's fouled out by Napier. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tucker's got lots of leeway to play with here. With an 8-run lead. Here's the 2-1. That's high and outside, 3-1. He came out and faced Olin Wright and struck him out in the 5th to end that inning. Since then, a walk to Wright, or to a Mayo rather, and now a 3-1 count to Wright. And make it ball 4. Back-to-back walks. And Virginia's Xander Mayo goes to third base on that ball 4. Now here's Brady Deacon. Reached on an error, grounded out, and before we get to him, coach going to come out and make a pitching change. Wes Tucker couldn't get an out here in the 6th, and Landon Reeves going to be asked to come in one more time in relief for Georgia. He came in relief yesterday, elimination game with Tennessee, and Reeves shut the door as he came into the game with 1 out in the 3rd, and he finished out the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. And in that time, he gave up 2 hits, walked 1, and no runs allowed in a game that ultimately Georgia would hang on to win by a 5-3 score. So now Landon's back on the mound again, seeing if he can get the last 3 outs against Virginia. Tucker will go to third base. Reeves to the mound. So Brady Deacon's going to face the new pitcher. Runners at first and third. Pitch popped up. Coming over hard to take a look at it, and it's up against the netting as Shaw Hopkins runs out of room, strike 1. I talked to Landon after the game yesterday. He was the player that Coach Walters chose to do the interview. He's just unflappable. Nothing phases him. That's pretty much what his coach said. He's the same every single day. No balls, 1 strike. Ground ball toward third. Under Tucker's glove, run scores. So an error on the third baseman lets Xander Mayo come in to score to make it now a 12-5 game. Over to second goes Kendall Napier. Brady Deacon to first. Stephen Allen up now. Allen 0 for 2. Fly out and a ground out. This pitch inside, ball 1. On deck, Hayden Simpson, as we're at the number 6 spot in the order for Virginia. Nobody out. Ground ball again, this one to Tucker. He will touch Kendall Napier for the force out going to third and the first out of the inning. Allen reaches on the fielder's choice, and Virginia's down to 2 outs. Hayden Simpson 0 for 2. Fly out, strikeout. Same scenario. Runners at first and second, 1 away. Tucker with the presence of mind, get the easiest out with the runner coming right to him. Swing and a miss by Simpson. Count, no balls and 1 strike. 12-5 game. Landon Reeves in relief, trying to shut the door and move Georgia on. This one a foul ball, 0-2. Texas, Florida, still going, 2-2. Ground ball foul, wide to third base, still 0-2. Bottom of the 9th now. Texas with 2 outs, no runners on. They may be going to a 10th inning over there. That game's only still playing because Florida scored 2 in the 6th rather, to tie it up. Here's the 0-2. Swung on grounder. Reeves going to have to hustle. Gets it, throw in time for out number 2. Simpson goes down. Runners move up. Virginia down to their last out. Brady Mays coming up. He's with a strikeout but reached base on the wild pitch and then walked. He's up for a third time today. Runners at second and third. As he tries to keep Virginia alive here. 12-5 ball game. Pitch from Reeves. Strike one. And ground ball. It'll be to Walters. Throw across. That'll do it. Georgia with the 12-5 win. They advance for one more game as they will take on South Carolina at 3 o'clock this afternoon in their third elimination game in 2 days. Virginia eliminated as they finish off their season. 12-5 loss today to Georgia. As the two teams will shake hands, we'll remove the Virginia flag, get their medals, and get ready for another ball game coming up for the kids from Georgia to take on South Carolina at 3 o'clock on field number 9. Well, that's going to wrap things up here. We're down one more team. Florida and Texas still playing on the other field. We're going to wrap it up for today. I'm Chuck Zach. You've been watching a presentation of Diamond Youth Baseball here on Game Day. So long, everybody.